Why you can't retire with $1 million. Explain. Stay tuned. Promise you, it'll be worth it. Good day, Toronto. Welcome to another episode of Prime Property. So glad you could join me here today. See, I want to give you some really bad news, unfortunately. There's a very good chance you can't even retire if you're sitting on $1 million right now. You see, everybody has a different definition of retirement. For me, I'm not a sit on a beach drinking all day kind of guy. I'd go crazy after a few days of no mental stimulation. Tried it, wasn't for me. However, that's not what I'm trying to get at here about why you can't retire with $1 million, okay? You can't retire with $1 million because the definition of retirement needs to be what I call self-sustaining. What do I mean by self-sustaining? It means your money needs to make you money passively so that you can do whatever it is that you want to do without worrying about money again. In my case, it's not drinking on a beach, but if it's yours, that's fine too, right? You don't want to slowly chip away at your $1 million you have, because if you take away from the principal, or what they call chipping away at it, you'll end up with nothing. Hence the term retiring broke, right? So the key here is to have your money make enough money for you to be self-sustaining. So self-sustaining retirement. So if someone wants to retire, let's say they are replacing their current income they make right now. So by simple math, you take your current annual income, divide that by $1 million. And that's the chart I have here to show you in increments of 25 grand what it looks like what kind of yield you need, like percentage return on your $1 million. So why is this an issue? A lot of people think that when they become a millionaire, they've made it. It's mostly not making it. It depends on your lifestyle, trust me, coming from experience. Lifestyle creep is like the ultimate anti-retirement. That's why you have movements like FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence and Retire Early, that kind of preaches frugality, or being cheap. That's a joke. Anyways, my point here is that you can see the percentage yield in the chart that your $1 million needs to return in order for you to retire. If this is the type of real estate content you enjoy, and I know it's a little bit of a stray, right? Be sure to help us spread that knowledge by smashing that like button and subscribing to our channel. Every week we put out content that's somewhat related to real estate and it matters to you, because all of this is real talk, because we want to be transparent and honest so that when you are ready to make your real estate move, whether it's buying your first home or investment property, you'll think of us and you'll schedule a call with me to strategize the future, right? So if you want to do that, the link is right here. It's w.chavzan.com. Now, did you know back in the 90s, $1 million was worth more? Plus, you could generate passive income much easier. You see, in the 90s, you could put your $1 million into a GIC savings account, guaranteed income coupon, and earn 7%. 7%. All of this is before inflation, of course, right? So in the 90s, with $1 million, you're making 70 grand in passive income. Pretty easy to retire, right? Especially if 70 grand goes further back in the day. Now, a GIC was perceived as no risk, and that's why it made sense. Now, you'll be lucky if you can find a GIC that's 1%. That means you're getting $10,000 on $1 million. That means if inflation is 2%, which is what the government mandates, but clearly it's a lot higher right now, you're losing money by leaving it in a GIC. This is why investors have been chasing more yields, because the safer investments no longer yield anything substantial for you to retire off of and preserve your money. So let me give you some examples here of yields that are and how they're doing right now in order of say safest to riskiest. Keep in mind, this is cash to spend without using your principal or selling off your assets. So no appreciation in real estate, no appreciation in your equities. Here's the chart with some basic passive incomes you can get right now, okay? Top is the lowest risk, bottom is the riskiest, perceived, right? So keep in mind, this is all before inflation. So number one, you got government bonds, which yield about 3%. After inflation, that's just making sure your money doesn't get devalued. REITs, which stands for Real Estate Investment Trusts, are about 4.5%. This is the current, middle of 2021 real can yield. The con to this is it's taxed differently in Canada, but it's still not much after inflation. Southern Ontario duplexes are about 6 to 8% on a cash return based on cash flow. You can get that, but the con is you have to manage tenants, but you get mortgage pay down as well. This is just start now. This stuff's going to get more technical, but just follow me here, right? So then you got dividend focus ETFs, which is around 8% right now. Now these stocks mainly focus on dividends, and it's kind of risky because you need Class A shares and they use call options to generate those high dividend yields, which generally means no growth, and there's a risk of the call options going to crap. Then you have private lending on mortgages, which is like 8 to 10%. And this could be very lucrative, but you need to know what you're doing because you could be left holding the property. Now, I'm personally a fan of this because I know what I'm doing because I'm in real estate, right? But not everyone does. So take all these things with the caution, but it's just as an example to show you. Now, as a side note, after seeing this, because yields are so low, this is exactly why big pension monies and big hedge fund monies are going after more yield, because their usual mandate is 8% a year annually. And this is exactly why they're buying up homes in the US to chase safer yields, because they can't achieve their 8% with normal stuff. Crazy world we're in right now, if you understand that. So those are your options right here. Even if you don't factor in inflation, you have to remember this passive income for living depends on your lifestyle and whether you have a high mortgage payment. If you just bought your first home for, call it $1 million, which is the average right now in Toronto, that's roughly a $4,500 a monthly carry without condo fees, or $54,000 after tax. So the question is, can you really retire with $1 million working passively for you? Generally no, especially in Toronto, unless you do some geo or currency arbitrage in a different country. But the biggest question, even after that, is where are you getting your $1 million from right now? See, I've gone through this exercise years ago, and what I realized was as long as I had a comfortable yield, what we're calling it, or cash flow from my real estate investment portfolio, paying for my mortgage, I would be comfortable and be in control of my time because I don't have to worry about the roof and the food for my lifestyle. It didn't matter what my net worth was as long as my passive income covered my lifestyle expenses and I was okay with that. That's how I personally justify certain nice things. My portfolio covered it. This is a good exercise for you to do even if you don't have $1 million sitting around, because you need to design your life around the cost of your lifestyle so that you know exactly how to invest, what to invest, and know the risk. So if you want to learn how to design your life around passive income using real estate, which is what we've done, you can book a call with me using the link on the screen. It's www.chatwithzen.com. Hopefully this gives you something to think about, because I found that a lot of people just kind of wish they had $1 million without knowing what happens next once you get $1 million. This is exactly why a lot of people who win the lottery tend to lose that afterwards, right? You need to think about how to plan your life if you had that money so that you can work towards that with the correct strategy, which is what we do with a lot of our real estate clients, okay? Until next time, hopefully this was helpful. Your move, your future. Now that you're done watching this one, how about this one? Oh, you know what? This one's good too. Ooh, this one's really good. You know what? Just watch them both.